It's just me, so hopefully we can sort that out for next week and figure out why it was working before but not working today. Alright, finally, Facebook. Hello, and welcome. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical issues. When I tested it, I could get all three streaming, but unfortunately, something was going on today, but we're here now. That's the joys of a live show, I guess. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming and joining me. If you're catching this live on Facebook or on Instagram, welcome. And if you're catching it on replay on my YouTube channel or later on Facebook, then welcome. It's great to find online 3 where I got that extra boost and motivational push just to do it. So we're here, episode 1, very excited. Now I'm sure you're wondering what this is all about, what the show is going to be about, how it's going to go down, and also who the hell I am. So first of all, I hope this to be a developing show. The idea behind this is to really show that success is a process, and it takes time and takes things that you learn, put into action to actually progress forward. So I decided I'm going to start this show just as I am, trying not to get too much into the planning, try not to get too much organizing, try not to be perfect before I launch it, and hopefully with time we can see the progression and the growth of what this show is to be. The struggles and the mental shifts that are required to become successful, and whether or not we can really accelerate that process just by shifting our perspective or shifting our minds and trying to figure out the difference between what it is to be successful or to believe that you're successful, and whether or not that accelerates your journey as well. So very excited, lots of stuff to come. I'm sure you're probably wondering who the hell I am. If you don't know me already, my name is Jake and I'm from Western Australia, a little city called Perth, one of the most isolated cities in the world. And my story basically starts as most do: school, go to high school, get good grades, get into university, do a degree, aim to be into the corporate world. And that's the journey that I took. You know, I studied at John 23rd High School at Mount Claremont. And then I went into university to do a mechatronic engineering degree. Took me 8 years, but I persisted and I got there. And then I went straight into the corporate world. There I was, you know, big office in the big buildings in the city, and that was meant to be it, right? That was meant to be the goal that I'd achieved, and that was meant to be the path that took me to a life of happiness. But very quickly realized that wasn't for me. You know, 3 months sitting in an office behind a desk. Ironically, I'm now sitting behind a desk doing the same sort of thing, but it's a completely different world. You know, that was not for me. I did not want to be stuck to a desk, an office, a screen, and the same routine, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So what did I do? I said no thank you, packed it up, and I left. I left and followed my passion. And what is my passion? Traveling. I love traveling. I love the experiences it brings, the friends you meet, the connections you make, and everything associated with engulfing yourself in a new culture, a new environment, putting yourself out of your comfort zone, you know, traveling on your own. If you haven't, so if you get the opportunity, definitely do something on your own and see what you learn about yourself. It's a very eye-opening experience. But onto this show. So my goal here is to interview as many people as I possibly can from all backgrounds, all success levels. The only requirement is one of two things. One, you believe that you're successful, or they believe that they're successful in something, anything. Or two, the general public believes that they have become successful in their particular area. So I am always one for dream big, have high aspirations, have big goals, and see where they take you. So I've got a small list of people that I'd love to have on this show. People like Will Smith, Frazer, Brookes, who was a massive inspiration to me in the network marketing business field. People like Jim Carrey would be amazing. You know, anyone of big, how do I say, public view would be absolutely incredible to have on this show, like The Rock, Kevin. Be a very big level of success for me. So whether I make it, whether I don't, well, that's what we're going to sort of learn and find out. We're going to be interviewing people along the way, and I'm going to try and implement everything I learn with the people that I speak to try and build this show up as we go. Now, do I expect there to be thousands and thousands of people watching? No, not at the start. That's the whole point of this show, is to prove that consistency, the process, and taking what you learn can hopefully build something great. Now, what will be, I suppose, my process here is to just gather the most people that I can and just have a very raw, cut back sort of discussion. Because oftentimes we hear about success, you know, you hear the glamour, the glitz, and the people who have made it to the top, and you know, you see the artists with their fancy houses and their nice cars and all this, but really breaking down what it takes to get there, because no one starts off, well, not no one, some people do, but not many people start off famous. They don't start off at the top of their level. You know, it takes a process. It takes a strong learning curve. And I really want to break down exactly what the struggles were, what were the... And for that reason, I don't want to have a show based around one particular genre. So I'm not here to tell you how to become a millionaire overnight, or how to become an actor, or how to become best sports player. Because I want to take people from all different backgrounds, because at the end of the day, we're all human. But we all learn differently, we all have different interests, we all have different goals and aspirations, and one's levels of success can be completely different, or perceived differently from someone else's. So I want to take a bunch of different people from all different levels of success, from all different backgrounds, and really get down to what kind of things that they held on to get them to where they are. Did they believe they were successful from day dot? Did they believe they were going to make it, or was it a battle of the mind? Was it a battle of physical strength? You know, what are these different aspirations and different traits that we need to hold on to and need to improve on to get to that next level? But by now, I'm sure you're probably wondering, Jake, what have you done? Why are you the person having this show? You know, what have you done in your life that makes you successful or not successful, so to say? Now, if you were to ask me right now if I'm successful, I would say no, not at the thing that I'm trying at, because I'm just beginning. But are there things in my life that I've done that I'm proud of? Hell yeah, there are. There's lots of things that I've done. To name a few, once I left the corporate world, I went traveling. I've been to over 20 countries. I've hiked volcanoes. I've hiked mountains. I've got my skydiving license. I've got in the Guinness Book of World Records. You know, I've learned different languages. Well, slowly. My girlfriend would say I need a lot more German to count that. But you know, putting yourself out in that comfort zone. I've trekked with silverback gorillas, I've kissed giraffes, I've swum with dolphins, you know, I've lived in a school bus, bought a school bus, converted that, lived in that for over a year. I travelled New Zealand in a small van, which I converted and lived in that for 3 to 4 months. I've lived in Mexico, lived in almost 5 different countries now around the world, and I've absolutely loved my life. I think I've lived a very fast and full life, done things that some people might not ever get to do in their lives, but that was my goal, that was my passion, that was my drive. However, now, as times change and as my perspective of what success is, so I guess over the time and over the process of this show, I think my sort of, I guess, hypothesis would be that basically anything, sorry, bear with me, my hypothesis, which I wrote down earlier, was basically to say that success is actually a state of mind rather than a sort of physical, figurative measurement, you know. I believe that everyone can be successful in different ways, and that it's unbelievable how much our actions are, how much our actions are influenced by what we believe to be success, what we believe other people went through to become successful, and what other people's opinions are on us. So all these little concepts of what people say about us, what we believe other people to have already done, or what we get shown by other people on what it took them, really determines how we go about our journey towards success. So sometimes you might see someone who's just jumped online, you see all these gurus. I mean, I've gone into network marketing side, and we get a lot of people who say, yep, just come here, join me, within 2 weeks you're going to be famous, rich, and going to have all the money in the world. It's just absolute bullshit. I mean, success takes a lot of hard work. It takes growth. It takes different levels of learning to get to a different stage. And I think, unfortunately, these days, anyone who's not in the 9-to-5 job, so any artists, any musicians, anyone trying to break out on their own in the small business community, it can be falsified how easy it is to become successful. And one of my mentors told me that if you want to get to a certain level, find someone who's doing exactly what you want to do, find out exactly how they got there, and then just do it faster and better, and push yourself to do exactly what they do, because success leaves clues. Now the thing here is, you always see on Instagram, on Facebook, these pages that give you plenty of tips about how to be successful and often give very, very good advice. But we don't know who's really behind them, who's writing these things up, where the information's coming from. So my goal here is to really get into the minds of the people who have been successful or believe that they've been successful in a certain area, and find out exactly how they got there, what they feel like helped them get there, and learn together as a whole to figure out what it actually takes. Now, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please jump on, follow me along, jump in the comments, share your thoughts. This is meant to be more of a community-based show where anyone who wants to get further in life, or anyone who wants to push further in their level, can come on here, learn from other people, learn hopefully from high-level successful people, and take what you learn and implement it into your day-to-day. Because I mean, personally, I would jump on Instagram pages and read all this information, but would I actually put it into action? No. Very often I'd just read it, next, and I'd be done. But my goal here is to try and take everything that I learn from the people that I interview and the people that I speak with, and implement it into the show itself. And with that, hopefully we can get our numbers. At the moment, we have 3 people watching on Facebook and 1 person on Instagram. So as you can see at the moment, I'm not quite sure how to find out who they are, but so that's a little bit about myself, where I've come from, and what my intention is. Like I said, in the network marketing space especially, you get lots of these gurus, lots of these people who know exactly how to do it, and lots of lies and false information, which unfortunately leads people down these rabbit holes of falsified hope and belief. Now, I believe everyone should have a huge dream and should follow their gut and follow their ambitions and try and reach for the stars, but at the same time have that realization that it's going to take work, it's going to take growth, it's going to take learning, and not just like, okay, I need to be better at guitar in order to become a famous musician, but the mindset it takes to come with fame, the hard work it takes to get back up when you fail, the rejection, the no's, all this sort of stuff is all part of what I believe to be the story and the shifts that you need to make to be successful. So with that said, this episode will probably be a bit of a shorter one, because I'm trying to lay out exactly what's going to be coming up. Bear with me, and hopefully as we go down the journey, I'll be doing 1 episode a week to start with. I will be changing the time, because there are people over in Australia where I'm from. I'm currently in Germany. There's people over in Canada that all jump on. So in order to be interviewing certain people at their convenient time, I will be shifting this to 6 p.m. So next Thursday at 6 p.m. will be my episode 2, and I will be interviewing a young man who I met in Mexico actually. His name's Emmanuel Cara, and he has at such a young age made a huge impact in the e-commerce world, and has done some incredible things, seen and met with some incredible people, and has got a very incredible mindset and a very focused and driven sort of attitude to life at such a young age, which I think is absolutely incredible. So he was happy to jump on board and be the very first person that I interviewed. So I hope the next week you'll be able to join me again. I'm sorry if the time difference doesn't work for you, but again, you can catch the replays on YouTube and later on Facebook and you get the I can adjust the show according to the people who are watching. And at the end of the day, that is my entire goal. The people who are here watching, the people who are interested, people who want to grow, will be able to grow as a team and implement what we learn from person to person. So I've got some big goals and aspirations and hoping to interview some big people, but we have to start somewhere. We have to start the process slowly, and we have to progress day by day, taking in what we learn and implementing it. So I intend to have some people on here which will be of interest to people all across every avenue, depending on what side of field you're in, what your goals are. So stay tuned. And other than that, I just want to say thanks again. It's going to be very exciting, and I want you to know who's watching that this, at the moment, is meant to be a rough, raw, real version of me and the people that I'm interviewing, because I want this to be a process, and hopefully a year down the track, 6 months down the track, when the show has grown, it has progressed, I've learned more about myself and how to do this better and how not to have massive technical issues at the start, then we can look back at this episode 1 and laugh and see and actually measure the growth that's come along. So it's a work in progress. It's meant to be raw. It's meant to be real. I'm so excited that I'm finally out here. I'm very much looking forward to episode 2 when we get our first interview, and for the many to come. I've got a few people that I'm messaging and getting in contact with, so I'm very much looking forward to where this goes. As for that, it's been great for me to introduce myself. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me anytime, and I'm hoping that this can progress in a very good way to help many people. So share it, like, comment, do whatever you like, message me, ask me questions, and together I guess we'll see where we can go with this. So for now, I'm going to leave it at that. On to next week with Emmanuel Cara, and that'll be at 6 p.m. CET on Thursday the 25th of November. So if you're able to tune in live, please do. Otherwise, you'll be able to catch the replays. Alright, peace out, good luck, and hopefully